This video features far too many straight out of camera sample images and video clips, which I guess means I must really like this Panasonic LX100 Mark II, right? Firstly, it does feel great in the hands. Yeah, it's not weather sealed, but it's solid, it's easy to use, easy to get to grips with. The dials on the body and on the lens are very nice. In fact, the lens has something that I loved about my X100S. These protruding grips around the ring that make aperture selection even easier when you're out and about. It's just that extra little bit of thought that's been put into the design that makes the difference. Something about that aperture ring, it is nice and all, but don't let it fool you. Once you start to zoom in, you lose f1.7 and eventually you'll get to a decent enough f2.8, but don't be fighting the aperture ring thinking, well, I put it at f1.7, why is it not shooting at f1.7? To be fair, I always feel like this screen is limiting me somehow, and that's without going into the fact that if they'd added a screen like the X70 has and a mic port, this camera could easily have been a good option for vloggers too. I thought before I nip back in the car, I'd give it a quick vlog test, which is fairly pointless as we don't have an onboard mic and I can't see what I'm doing without the app, but any good? On a grim day like this? I don't know. I think this is not really designed for vlogging, but with a couple of simple tweaks, it could have smashed that too, for want of a much better phrase. As it stands, I still feel this is a solid number for stills, with a few awkward things left out, but absolutely nothing fatal at all. I got a little carried away with the multi-aspect bracket mode, and I kind of wished it had a bracket mode with different film simulations like my Fuji's. Maybe I'm missing something there. The black and white options are pretty decent, even if you can't run more than one at a time. You can easily switch modes via a function button, and I can get to anything that I need pretty quickly. That multi-aspect switch on the lens is a pretty cool feature. Now, if you shoot for social media, Instagram for example, I know a bunch of you do exactly that, it can really save time cropping afterwards. And something that's extra cool, the multi-aspect ratio works with the raw files too. How cool is that? I wish I'd been given another battery with this. After a couple of hours shooting, I needed a charge, and while it does have USB charging, I couldn't shoot while connected, so as always, get a spare. The 24 to 75mm full frame equivalent f1.8 to f2.8 lens is nice and sharp. Micro contrast is excellent. The 4/3 sensor does a great job with the colors. If I'm going to be picky, I could have done with a bit more zoom, but then watch this. It's not exactly discreet once the lens is powered on and you zoom out. It does have a very handy lens resume function though, so when you switch back on, you can have it return back to the exact position on the zoom that you had it before switching off. Very handy. There we have it. We've finally looked at arguably the top 3 or 4 premium compacts out there. They're all slightly different. So what's your personal favorite? This Panasonic is a solid, hands-on kind of camera that works pretty well in the street and still fits in the pocket just about. It's got a very nice sensor, a good viewfinder amongst other things, but if I'm honest, probably no surprises, I feel the X70 is more my thing, and that's after also having used the Ricoh, the Sony RX100 range and all the Fujis. But you know, if you really must have a zoom, which frankly is very useful, this is a very good fit. But now we want to hear from you in the comments below. Have you used this camera? What other premium compact cameras do you like? Remember, keep it friendly, subscribe, and I'll see you below.